What's up guys, I'm Antagonistic. What I'm bringing to you guys is a tutorial video on Battlefield 5 how to improve efficiently and to perfect your craft as a recon player. Let's dive right into the video. So the things I'm going to go over for you guys is mindset, aiming, tracking, utilizing your equipment, positioning, and how to play aggressive. If you guys want to skip to certain parts of the video that best suits you, feel free to go to the description and press all of the timestamps available. Here's the mindset portion of the video. In this section, I will be going over what mindset you need to have to improve fast with the recon class on Battlefield 5. If you start playing and you want to improve with the recon class, you must be positive and motivated to get better. Don't get discouraged at bad scores, bad stats, or even missing a lot of shots. In order to get better, you have to understand the mistakes you make and fix them in order to improve. Know what you want to improve on, whether it's hitting more headshots, having better accuracy, or even extending your range. Really focus on what you want to improve on until you are satisfied with your results or reach the skill gap you are confident with. Have fun with it and watch yourself progress through the game. Challenge yourself daily, move out of your comfort zone, and really play aggressive. Don't stress out too much because you can hurt your growth if you get frustrated too often, and you'll lose track on what you're trying to achieve. Always hold yourself accountable for everything that happens in your game. It makes it easier to pinpoint your mistakes and you will avoid it in the next time. Keep a good and positive mindset and you will improve in no time. Here's the aiming portion of the video. I'm going to be going over key factors you'll need to improve your aim. Developing muscle memory, sticking to one gun at a time, predicting your enemy's next move, and going for every shot possible. The first thing that I'm going to be going over is developing muscle memory. Muscle memory is amongst the most important and most essential things that you need to improve your aim on Battlefield. Now how you do this, of course, is going to take time and a lot of patience and effort to develop the muscle memory you need to improve your aim. Now how you do this in the most efficient way is to stick to the same settings, class loadouts, and so on and so forth. When you begin your journey in becoming a better sniper, the best thing to do is to go to your settings and find the options that you have. Change what you want, change what you need, and then stick with it. Same thing with your loadouts and all of that. Reason why I say this is very important is because when it comes to that, you don't want to spend more time adjusting and then less time improving. So with that being said, let's get on to the next section. Another thing I'm going to be going over is sticking to one gun at a time. This is also very important as you can develop muscle memory faster, you can become more consistent, and more confident when you hit more shots. Now the reason why I say this is because each rifle and gun plays entirely different from another in Battlefield. So, when you first start playing, you start playing with the recon class, first thing you want to do is play with all the rifles. See which one you like and see which one best suits your playstyle and all of your needs. Once you do this, master that gun. You want to see the advantages and the disadvantages. You want to understand this gun's quirks and so on and so forth. Once you do this and you feel comfortable, move on to the next rifle and to the next one. Reason why this is also very important is because then you maximize the skill gap within that class. So then when you do play and you want to have a certain objective, certain range, or kill a certain amount of players, you can equip the gun that you need to truly play at your max level. Now let's get on to the next section. Now the next thing I'm going to be going over is predicting enemies' movements. Now of course, this is very important as you need to lead your shot to their next move. I'm going to go ahead and display some examples for you guys to show you what an enemy might do when they see you sniping at them. The first clip I'm going to go over for you guys is the one path runner. The one path runner is the kind of person who's going to run the exact same direction, whether if you shoot at him, or if he sees your glint. Now, of course, what you do is once you see that he's running the same direction, just lead your shot towards him and you pick off the kill. The next clip I'm going to go over is the tunnel vision. This person, no matter what's going on around him, he's going to focus on whatever target he's aiming at. Now, of course, this is amongst one of the easiest people to kill, as they're standing still and they're not really focused on you. So all you gotta do is line up the headshot and get the kill. On this clip, I'm gonna show you guys the random guy. This person does anything they can to try to avoid your shot. Now, what you do is you study them and you exploit any mistake they make, whether they pause or whether they do anything to make it to where you can align your shot. Now, of course, what you want to do is you want to take your time with this enemy. You want to aim at him a little bit and just wait until that perfect moment to take your shot. Now I'm going to be going over one of the hardest parts to deal with of being a sniper. The person who actually fires back at you. Now, of course, this person is going to go out their way and do everything they can to shoot at you and to kill you. Now, when this happens, it's very important for you to know what gun they are using, because certain guns in certain circumstances can kill you from longer ranges. Now, with that being said, how you counter this is by aiming for the head. The reason why this is also extremely important is because it ends your enemy's chances of killing you. Now, when it comes down to getting into gunfights, it's also very essential that you know your surroundings, because when things go south, you want plan B. You want to find cover, you want to be around teammates, so on and so forth. So to really counter this enemy, of course, go for headshots, make sure you have suitable cover, and go in with confidence. Now, with those example clips, I was just showing you guys what might happen when you deal with certain enemies. Now, of course, that's not going to play out every time, because you never know. A lot of people have different play styles, and they have a lot of methods to try to avoid your shot. But when it comes time, just really adjust to an enemy, take your time, and you will hit your shots. Now I'm going to be going for every shot possible. Now, this is really important, because not only are you going to learn your gun's lead and drop and all that, you're also going to not limit yourself to the range that you're comfortable with. Now, I'm going to show you guys some examples of some pretty crazy shots that I hit. Enjoy the clips. As you guys can see, those were some pretty cool shots, in my opinion at least. But what comes down to it, when you really do go for every single shot, it really does grow your confidence, because I find myself when I hit one really insane shot, and the next you know, all my shots are like really on. So be sure you guys stick to that. Go on with a lot of confidence that you guys are going to improve your aim, and just have fun with it, because when you do have fun, it makes it feel like less of a chore. It makes it feel more enjoyable. It makes it feel like that you're achieving something. So when it comes down to aim, just overall, focus on muscle memory, focus on a lot of practice, focus on enemy's movements, and be confident with every shot that you take, and you will soon be a top sniper. So I'm going to be going over the utilities you guys should use on the recon class. Now, to start off, I'm going to go over the spot flare, one of the most effective and most team-oriented device that you can use in this class. So what you do is, of course, when you shoot spot flare, when you shoot it very high in the sky, it makes it more effective and more useful for your teammates. And also it spots in that range for a longer period of time, granting you points, every kill that a teammate gets, every spot that you get. And also it can really help guide your team through an objective or anything they need to do to win the game. So there's multiple ways you can do this. Of course, like I said, shoot it very high in the air, or if you in a rush and you need to get a spot flare off, get into a good angle and fire that bad baby off. The only thing about that is that it's not going to last half as long as if you can shoot it all the way in the air, but it will grant you some more distance with the spot flare where you don't have to be so close to the objective. So be sure to shoot your spot flares up in the sky for your teammates and win the game. Now I'm going to be going over the spawn beacon. Now of course the spawn beacon is one of the most important and most essential things that you can use on the recon class. Now one of the things that gripes me when it comes to the spawn beacon is when your teammate places it directly on the objective. Now the reason why I say this, it might seem like a good thing, but when you spawn on that spawn beacon, you are exposed to numerous different elements in terms of vehicles, people, so on and so forth. So spawning on that spawn beacon can lead to more harm than actual good. Now of course, that being said, spawn beacon being there, you can hear it and the enemy will destroy it sooner, so then you won't have anywhere to spawn if your whole squad dies. Now the way I like to set the spawn beacon, I like to set it to where it's sort of close to the objective, but at the same time it's away enough for where you can reposition yourself when you spawn in. So when I set mine down, of course it's very secluded, it's hidden as possible, and it makes it to where when you spawn in or when I spawn in, it gives you multiple different angles and multiple different options you can do to get the objective. So of course you can go left, go right, you can flank, you can go straight at the enemies, but setting those spawn beacons down is very important for your squad, especially if you're playing the recon class, because it gets you closer to the objective, to where if your whole squad dies or something goes on, you don't go all the way back into deployment and have to run all the way back to the objectives, which of course Battlefield 5's maps layout is very open and very exposed, but it leads you to a higher chance of you getting killed. So when you set those spawn beacons, make sure they're secluded, make sure they're in a good position for your teammates, and keep setting them down. Now I'm going to be going over one of the more controversial things about the recon class, and that's playing aggressive. Of course, a lot of players assume that recon players don't play aggressive because some players sit in the back of the map and so on and so forth, but I'm really going to teach you guys and help you guys get through that and show you guys how to play aggressive. Now, of course, playing a little more aggressive with the recon class can be a little bit more challenging due to the fire rate and how slow the class operates compared to the others. But there is definitely ways that you can play extremely aggressive like all the other classes. Now, that being said, the first thing I'm going to be going over how to play aggressive is your positioning. Now, you should and always should know the positioning between you, your teammates, and your enemies. Now the reason why I say this is very important is because of course there's types of play styles, there's a lot of different guns that people use, your teammates are in certain areas and how you should help them and so on and so forth. So what I like to observe, I like to see how many snipers there are, how many people are using LMGs, how many people are using more of the SLR kind of guns. And I like to use my distance as an advantage over them. Now, when you play aggressive like this, you're really taking these players out and helping your teammates push forward. And more forward and so on. So, when you do that, push in with your team. Take out all those people and then push in. Now, the thing is, the recon class, people expect you to go balls to the wall. Which, of course, is possible, but it's very difficult to do that, essentially because of your fire rate. Now, when you got people with Type 2As, Stins, STGs, and all those sort of high fire rate, powerful guns, it's very hard to do that. So going balls to the wall is not a very smart and effective way of doing it. Now, flanking it. Now, when you're in the recon class, you want to flank a lot, because you want your interactions to be only one person at a time most of the time, because as I said, high fire rate guns, if you got two people going against you, the odds are going against you. Now of course you can kill them if you play them right, but essentially you're putting yourself in a huge disadvantage by doing it. So flank a lot, get in those tight positions where the enemies can't really see you, and you're picking them off one by one by one by one. Now, that being said, I find flanking with the recon class to be the most deadly compared to the others, simply because of how powerful your gun is. It's a one-shot kill. It's a done deal. So you're not going to give your enemies a lot of chances and a lot of opportunities to know where you're at if you're picking them off quickly. So another way to play aggressive better is to know what pistol fits you the best. Now, I say this is very important because that's your second option and also your fastest fire rate gun you're going to have. So with that being said, find something that you like, something that you're comfortable with, and kind of just stick with it, I would say. I mean, me personally, I like revolvers because it doesn't give enemies enough time to spray me, because I got 2 shots to round. Maybe even 1 if I shoot them in the head, but that's my playstyle, which is of course okay to use any other pistols. It just depends on what you want. Now, when it comes to like your frag grenades and those kind of equipments, I tend to use a throwing knife. Not only because it's one hit, it's also because I can restock, resupply on it, and keep using the throwing knife. Now, also with the throwing knife, it's a lot faster than the pistol. Now, what I mean by that is if you're switching from your bolt action to your pistol, it's way faster because all you gotta do is throw it at them. But of course, that's playstyle, that's what I like. So it's about finding what you guys like and what suits best for you to play aggressive. Now, like I was saying in the beginning, playing balls to the wall is not the way to play aggressive. Running straight to the objective and trying to get as much kills as you can is not a way of doing it. Flanking, getting in tight areas, getting in areas where enemies are not at and don't know where you're at, and picking them off is the best way to play aggressive with the recon class. Even along with playing your range engagements with the enemies and having that advantage over them to help your team push forward is playing aggressive. So, to sum it all, positioning, knowing your equipment, and being comfortable with your class is the way that you can start becoming more aggressive. Now, before I end this section, let me show you guys some examples of some very aggressive clips. Now I'm going to be going over positioning. Now of course positioning ties in with a lot of different things that I went over in this video, but I wanted to make it a section by itself to give you guys some better understanding of how to do it. Now in terms of positioning, the way to do it is you gotta study the enemy team. You gotta see what they're doing, you gotta see what their weak spots are, and you gotta see the areas that they are not in. That's when you create things like flanks, really good plays, and you can really help your team push forward. Now with that being said, with the example clip on Rotterdam, when I was on top of the train, what I did, I realized that the team was not playing on top of the train at all. They was not even nowhere near that. And as I was pushing, the enemies kept killing me, and I'm realizing that all of them are under the bridge, and they're all aiming that one direction towards our team to the back of the spawn. Now with that being said, what I did was I exploited that. I went up and I snuck up in the buildings, I set down a spawn beacon, and I decided to attack from the stairs. Now as you can see, all those enemies were clueless, they had no idea what was going on, and I was able to pick a lot of them off before they killed me. Now that's very important with the recon class because of course fire rate comes into play, and it can become very difficult if you have multiple different enemies shooting at you at one given time. So you want to create plays like that. You want to see where the enemies are at and where they're playing, and you want to attack them at a different angle at all given costs. And also with positioning, what makes it very essential with the recon class is that of course it has the advantage of long range. Now, to ensure that your teammates are pushing efficiently and effortlessly, you want to be the one to pick out all the snipers, all the MMGs, all the people using self-loading rifles, so on and so forth, because you can push those players back and you can really help your teammates push forward. Because as I said, it's not always about running to objectives. There's multiple different ways of playing objectives. You taking out those players from those ranges and you using your positioning as an advantage can really help you and your teammates push through their objective. So with that being said, if you really want to get good at positioning, know where your enemies are at, understand how your teammates are playing, and also be sure to flank and do all those sort of things. That's so then you can be more efficient, you can play more aggressive, and you can start winning more games. This is the end of the tutorial. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe. And be sure to let me know if you guys want to see more types of videos like this, like tutorials or more personality based videos. And I will listen to all the feedback that you guys give me. This is my first commentary, so be ready for that, of course. I'll get better at this and try my best to do more of these. And I'll see you guys in the next time. Peace.